Good afternoon. It's July 14th, Bastille Day, if you're into that kind of thing. We've got a new moon coming up on the 17th in Cancer, and I've been reading a little bit about dreams because Neptune is retrograde, and I've been trying to wake up and note my dreams down on this old phone, and it's been kind of fascinating. I got this book the other day at Half Price Books, and it's an updated text from Gustavus Hindman Miller, who wrote this book like 100 years ago, and then it got updated by someone named Hans Holzer. I haven't looked him up yet, but I do have a couple of things marked where I'm going to interpret this one dream that I had just the other night on the 9th. So I thought first I'd read the dream, and then I'd go through and read the parts that I circled. I'm gonna use some people's names, but I'm going to change them because I don't want to embarrass any of my friends or anything like that, But okay, so I dreamt I was in a big city with friends on vacation. We found a lost dog. He was big and sweet, similar to Rover. Rover is my friend's dog. That's a pit bull mastiff mix. He's big. We were outside without a car. Anne and Lisa were there, and some guy. We kept having to stay in temporary rooms. In one, I bleached my hair out. I was freaked out, but kind of liked it. The guy gave me a drug that he said was psychedelic, but then said was Dilaudid. I took it. So did Anne and Lisa. We were wandering around the city with no vehicle, but someone let us ride on top of their car. Anne ran out into the street because she saw someone dancing that she knew, and she got off to dance with her. Later, we were running past a building in the rain, and the guy was banging on one of the windows. It turned out to be a hospital, and we ran for fear of getting in trouble. At some point, we ended up at a shelter. Inside was the dog's owner. They were so happy to be reunited. We left feeling like we accomplished something. As we walked the streets, we saw a lot of sick people, like beaten up and gray and on the verge of death. But somehow, we managed to get back to a hotel where miraculously we had a room that Robert had booked for us in advance. It was posh, and there were complimentary cocktails. So, for a little background of who these people are, Anne and Lisa are a couple of friends of mine that I know really well. Rover, the dog, does not belong to either one of those two. And Robert is an acquaintance of mine. Don't know him all that well. The guy was clearly some guy that we met there. I don't know. I didn't know this person. The guy that was banging on the windows of the hospital. There was no facial recognition to that person, and it didn't seem like we knew him, that we met him there. Okay, so I'm going to go through a couple of things in order. The first being city. To dream that you are in a strange city denotes a sorrowful occasion to change your abode or mode of living. To to dream of traveling signifies profit and pleasure combined. Let me go to 3, which was the dog. Now, the only thing I found in here that was close to it was to feel much fright upon seeing a large mastiff. Now, I didn't feel fright in the dream. The dog was sweet, but he was a large mastiff. Denotes that you will experience inconvenience because of efforts to rise above mediocrity. If a woman dreams this, she will marry a wise and humane man. Oh, the hair, right? So I dreamt that I bleached my hair out. It says, for a woman to dream of having her hair colored, she will narrowly escape the scorn of society, as enemies will seek to blight her reputation. All right. 5, the drug. Laudanum is the closest thing in this book, but it says to dream that you take laudanum signifies a weakness of your own, and that you will have a tendency to be unduly influenced by others. You should cultivate determination. That was pretty fascinating. 6, more of the street, because there was a lot of walking around in streets. To dream that you are walking in a street foretells ill luck and worries. You will almost despair of reaching your goal you have set up in your aspirations. Carnival, mostly because when we got on top of the car, it seemed like it was almost like a parade, and like people were dancing in the street. And then my friend saw someone she knew dancing. I couldn't find anything about parades or anything like that. So the closest thing was carnival. To dream that you are participating in a carnival portends that you are soon to enjoy some unusual pleasure or recreation. Rain, the rain. It seemed like we were out in the rain. It says, for a young woman to dream of getting her clothes wet and soiled while out in the rain. I wasn't really particularly worried about getting dirty, but it was just, we were being rained on. Denotes that she will entertain some person indiscreetly and will suffer the suspicions of friends for the unwise yielding to foolish enjoyments. Okay. And then 9 was the shelter. And it says, if you are seeking shelter, you will be guilty of cheating and will try to justify yourself. Now, I'm not sure if we were seeking the shelter or if we just stumbled upon it. I really can't remember in the dream. And I also didn't write down whether or not it was purposely a dog shelter, but the dog's owners were there in the dream. So I don't know. One thing I haven't looked up is, like, I don't know if I can find anything about being reunited or people or things being reunited. I'm not sure. Odd homeless that we saw that looked really sick. And it says here, to see vagrants is a sign of contagion invading your community. Right? And then the posh hotel that Robert booked, it says to dream of seeing a fine hotel indicates wealth and travel. Mixed drinks cocktail. To dream that you drink a cocktail denotes that you will deceive your friends as to your inclinations and enjoy the companionship of fast men and women while posing as a serious student and staid home lover. For a woman, this dream portends fast living and ignoring of morals and set rules. Okay, so that was the top 12 things out of the 10,000 dreams interpreted from that one little dream. Okay, so it's a couple of days later. After I shot the part about the dream that night, I indulged in some binge drinking and had a good time doing it, but then the next day, the worst hangover, just the worst, just headache, depression, just really bad feeling overall about everything. And it's kind of a face the music, hard truths about, codependency, chemical dependency, how the two go hand in hand. So I've decided that I'm going to have a month of sobriety from tomorrow's new moon until the next new moon. And this one card reading is hopefully going to help me get some clarity on that. Because these patterns, man, these dang patterns, I don't want to keep repeating them. It's not cool. It's not helpful. So let's see what the old tarot cards have to say. Oh, Six of Cups. Nostalgia. Look, it's got a person handing a flower cup to a little child. It's pretty happy. Memory card. Do I drink? Because it reminds me of happier days. Do I think drinking is going to bring me happier days? Is it something children do? Is it time to grow up and stop it? That's what I'm going to have to figure out for the next month. So, yeah. And then, I've got plenty of stuff to do. Like, for instance, I just bought this at Half Price Books. I thought it was a pretty good deal. $25. Neil Gaiman's annotated American Gods. So yeah, I'm only right here in chapter 2, so haven't got that far. But we'll see how it goes. See you at the next full moon.